Hey everyone, welcome to the RotoGrinders Morning Grind Podcast. I'm your host, Stevietpfl. It's Monday. It's June 26th. It is 2023. We have 6 baseball games to talk about here on today's slate. As always, on Mondays, joined by my good buddy Will Priester, ChiefJustice06. Chief, what's happening, my friend?
Nothing much, my brother. And let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. Congrats to Stevie. And not only congrats to Stevie, but congrats to all subscribers of the NASCAR package. I think if you followed his intel this week, you should have had a pretty good day. I know I was able to hop in his chat prior to the show here, like right before the show, and see everyone going nuts as the race ended up. And I think I saw one comment in that was pretty good, which said, "Clean races are money." In fact, I think that may have been your post. And as the A-team would say, I love it when a plan comes together. And so congrats to you and the NASCAR fam and the team. And, hey, man, congrats again. And I'm excited to come on with you, especially after a winner. When there's a winner in the house, it's always a good show.
Yeah, man. Took down the 121 on DraftKings and the $44 on FanDuel. Really good day. Really happy about it. So, I mean, I say it all the time. And anybody that is a Morning Grind listener that also hangs out in the Discord and stuff like that. Listen, at the end of the day, when we have these races that are clean, I'm very good at predicting these type of races. So, hey, after Trucks and Xfinity, very happy to finish the week on a really high note. So, I mean, I appreciate you not rushing me here and letting me sweat the last 6 or 7 laps of that race. It wouldn't have been fun watching it. I can't tell you how many times over the years I've benefited and also, not benefited from a late race caution. So the sweat for NASCAR it goes until the last until that checkered flag. I was telling Will, I was like, all right, it's over. Hopefully no one lost the spots or anything. So,
yeah, good stuff. And I mean, it's just good when you win. It's good when the crew wins. It's just always a good time. So I was really happy for you guys. Extremely pumped. That should make for a great show today.
It is. It's going to be I'm in a good mood. I mean, let's just be honest. Anytime you have a good day in DFS, you're always in a good mood. And got to have some family time. Night race made it really interesting. Kind of got to do some stuff on a Sunday, which never really happens. But yeah, let's get into some baseball talk. We got 6 games. We're bouncing back from the weekend. Will, Angels. Holy crap. What was that, man? Everyone goes off in that game except for Ohtani.
Yeah.
If you stacked them and you faded Ohtani, you did awesome.
Oh, my gosh. It was
wild. I think wild is the only term.
Yeah, that had to be, I think, one of the most insane pileup of runs I think I've experienced in my lifetime. We've seen some 14s and 15. We've seen some, but these guys 25 plus runs. That's Stevie in any league that's hard to do for baseball. And I know Florida put on a masterful performance on Sunday that
didn't hurt my feelings
to kind of say, hey, we're here. Hey guys, but just insanely high scoring baseball over the weekend. Incredible. That's really all I can say. Incredible performances by both teams.
It did not work out for your strategy of fading core. So good thing it was the weekend.
Right. Correct. Yeah, I was not in the DFS streets heavy this weekend. So
it was Chase Anderson. I don't know if you would have been given the advice to fade cores in that spot. But yeah, what a wild game that was. Very happy about my Gators. We're gonna see what happens here on Monday night for the College World Series championship or College World Series. I don't know why I call it championships. It's College World Series. So yeah, I mean, good mood all around for me today. Gators win. Good NASCAR race. Had the winner at 8-1, so just all around good day for me. So let's get into baseball, and we start with Cincinnati at Baltimore. 9.5 total in this game. Orioles a 136 favorite. We got Williamson and Irvin. I will note really quick, it is the night before, but yeah, potential weather in Baltimore and potential weather in Citi Field. The first 2 games we're going to talk about, there's some potential weather. I am not Kevin Roth. The last time we did this, it looked like it was going to be terrible all day, and we got all the games in. So we'll see what Kevin Roth has to say. You and I will be on Grinders Live tomorrow, and he'll be right after on Crunch Time. So we'll see what Roth has to say. We're going to break these games down like there's no weather. Starting here with Williamson. Any interest here in Williamson against Baltimore?
I don't think I need him, Stevie. I don't think I need him today. So I think he's going to sit on the shelf. You know, I don't think he's going to be able to mitigate the runs with the lack of strikeout upside. And that's kind of where I am. So I think Williamson gets the fade for me today.
Yeah, I mean, this is a top 10 offense against left-handed pitching. So just overall, it's not a spot that I think Williamson goes out and dominates. He's not like a pitcher that I feel like is going to be a dominant pitcher at where he's at in his career, under 20% Ks. Walk rate's decent, high ISO, high WOBA, really struggles with right-handed power. So I think, honestly, there's enough right-handed power in this lineup for me not to have interest in Williamson. He's cheap. It's a 6-game slate, but I think there is another guy that in this range that I like a lot more. Baltimore side of this game, we got Irvin. Any interest here in Cole Irvin going up against Cincinnati?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely prefer picking on Cincinnati with left-handed pitching more than right-handed pitching. But Cincinnati, since they've called these young kids up and they've gotten some talent in this lineup, has been one of the best teams in baseball in this.
And Joey Votto's back.
And Joey Votto's back. That's a huge bump for them. Cole Irvin's just not another guy that's just not, in this point of his career, a dominating pitcher. 21% Ks, 10% walks, 9% walks, sorry. High ISO at 224, 395 WOBA, 48.5% hard hits. Yeah, I like the bats in this game. Even though this game's in Baltimore, I like the bats in this game. Let's talk Cincinnati first. What's your thoughts here on the Reds?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think this thing starts with Ellie De La Cruz. It doesn't end with De La Cruz, but at 5,800, I still think he's a top target today, Stevie. I think it's a good spot for him. I still think it's a good spot for Matt McLain, who, once again, I mean, he had a masterful day on the past slate against my Atlanta Braves, might I add. 2 runs, 4 hits, three doubles, and a home run, Stevie. Like, this guy, Matt McLain is hitting. These guys are hitting. So when you can split De La Cruz and McLain, in fact, you don't even have to get him at shortstop. You can get him at second and third if you want to play a shortstop from another team. You can get very creative. You've got Nick Senzel here at 3,900, still very cheap, considering how well this team has been playing overall. I know each person is, has their own individual performances, but as a team, you can still squeeze in some of these guys. And I think, Senzel is a guy that will allow you to open that up now, and then you've got Indy at 5K, but out here in the outfield with Senzel and, you've got Friedel, Fraley, Steer all under 5K. You can make it work and maybe fade Indy and still get the 2 big guns.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Reds in this spot. You mentioned McLain. He's been one of my favorite hitters on this team. I feel like he's flying under the radar a little bit just because of how good De La Cruz has been. And honestly, De La Cruz is way better from the left side of the plate. So 5,800 is a steep price tag for him in this matchup. But honestly, I don't expect Irvin to go too deep into this game. So I don't want to say, hey, I'm going to be underweight on De La Cruz. I'm going to be overweight on the Reds in general. Senzel. Would love to see Newman hit up towards the top of the lineup like he was. But now, first third base eligible for Newman. I don't love it as much, but very high on Cincinnati. Very high on Baltimore. I think this is going to be, if this game plays weather-wise, I think this is going to be one of the highest scoring games on the entire slate. So Hayes is 3,800. He's probably my favorite. Mateo is 3,300. He's cheap. Love this spot for both sides. Definitely like the right-handed bats here for Baltimore.
Yeah, absolutely. And, man, I just really wish, Stevie, we could have got Ryan Mountcastle today. We'll get him later this week. He's coming back. But looks like he's going to still be on that rehab assignment. I think with AAA Norfolk, if I'm not mistaken. But, man, I was hoping we would have got him back to him. He's still there. But I'm with you on these righties. I think this is a good spot. I don't hate Santander either. I know he's a switch hitter, but Santander is definitely on my list today if I'm going to be stacking the Orioles. You've got Hicks here at 2,600. And I just think this team, they're a lot cheaper than Cincinnati will be today. With what I'm going to project as similar upside based on the situation. I really, really, really like the Orioles. I'm glad you brought up Mateo. He's definitely a favorite bat of mine. He's one you could get at shortstop. So, like, if you were kind of interested in the game stack, Stevie, in some way, I definitely feel like I prefer to play McLean and De La Cruz over the second and third baseman from Baltimore. And so I can get Mateo in. I can get in Santander at 4,400. Senzel. Like, this could be in a really interesting game stack if you really like both sides of this game.
I mean, I love the game stack. I love both sides of this game. I'm on it. Let's do it. 4-4 type of stacks, 5-3 type of stacks. I mean, Williamson and Irvin are pitch to contact type guys. So hard not to have interest here in this game in general. So what's up, YouTube? Hope everyone's having a fantastic Sunday night. Forgot to say hi. Derek, Jeremy, Richie, AK Boy, Jeremy. I said that already. David said he's watching first time live. That's awesome. Thanks for hanging out with us. So yeah, rocking the YouTube. If you haven't already, subscribe. Come hang out with us live. I love it. I'm a fan. I was on the fence. I've been on the fence for years about doing a live podcast, but I'm a fan. I enjoy it. I enjoy the conversations, and I enjoy when something pops up injury news-wise and someone can say it. So what's up, Smooth? Yeah, so enjoy it. Come hang out with us. All right, we got Milwaukee at New York. Mets, 8.5 total in this game. Mets, a 190 favorite. Colin Ray, Justin Verlander. Colin Ray first, Will. He's 5,600. He has been atrocious. I do not want to play Colin Ray today.
No. He's going to get a big fat no.
Now, Mets have not been hitting. Let's be honest. They have not been hitting. But
St. Louis wasn't hitting either, and then they just uncorked all the runs they missed in a day. So,
oh, yeah.
I'm not playing Colin Ray, though. I can't do it.
Yeah, I'm not touching Colin Ray today. Other side of this game, Justin Verlander, 8,300, huge favorite, good matchup. I expect him to be popular. What are your thoughts here on Verlander?
Yeah, I think Verlander is going to be popular at 8,300. I think the name value is going to carry a little bit of weight. Look, Verlander has not been great. And Stevie, one of the things I look for with pitchers, he's got the leash, but he's given up a lot of hits, Stevie. That's what I don't like. Like, for all you game log watchers out there, 8 hits against Houston, 3 against the Yankees. I know that was a lot lower. 7 against Atlanta, 5 against Toronto, 9 against Colorado, 8 against Tampa Bay, 5 against Detroit. Like, I think this price is warranted because of the performance. And I think we're giving him probably a little bit too much respect because it's Justin Verlander. I'm saying all that to say this. This is still a good spot for him at 8,300 against Milwaukee. There will be some strikeouts in this lineup. I'm also expecting him to get, when I say get hit, I mean give up hits. So I would suspect, Stevie, at best, he gives up 3 to 4 hits. At worst, he's 7 to 8 like he's been. Let's just call it in the middle. I think he gives up 5, probably gets 5 to 6 Ks. And then we've got to determine whether or not BABIP is in his favor or out of his favor. And that I can't tell you. At 8,300, I think it's okay for the spot today, but I'm not going to be loading up on him, especially if the ownership's high.
Yeah, I mean, the last couple times he's been chalk, I've just been, hey, I don't want to touch him. 6-game slate. We have a Strider against the Minnesota that has a massive ceiling. And I'm going to talk about Detmers as a pivot off of Verlander. And even my boy Heaney, I think, is a pivot here off of Verlander. So I think there's options. I'm not saying I don't want to play Verlander. I'm just saying if he's going to be massive chalk, which high favorite, good matchup, I think it's tough for me to be overweight on Verlander, especially if there's weather. To say all of that, to go, who are we really playing against him? That's the problem, right? Like, that's the problem is who are we really playing against Verlander if we're not playing him? So, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, that comment in the chat, it got me.
You got
me. Just for any podcast listener, Andrew Barry in YouTube chat got me and Will so good just now. It says, daughter just came up to say goodnight and asked if Stevie is okay. He's talking slow. I was confused, but I've listened every day for childhood at bus stop 2 times, never hit normal speed.
I'm so sorry. Listen, that might be the quote of the year.
I screen capped that one. I like that one. I'm keeping that one.
Oh man, Andrew, gold star today.
Oh man, well, tell your daughter thanks for listening to the podcast. I appreciate her.
That's incredible, actually.
Oh, that's awesome.
She had genuine. I can tell by the typing of this. She had genuine concern.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's so good.
Shoot, what were we talking about again? Was it Verlander?
Talk to me about the Milwaukee bats, Will.
Yeah. I'm not thrilled about loading up on Milwaukee for what it's worth. I mean, Yelich would probably be okay. I still Rowdy Tellez at 3,700 gives me some intrigue, I must say. But I don't want to stack them. I think Milwaukee might be a one-off team for me today, though. Like Tellez at 3,700. I know it's Citi Field, but he's got the upside. And that's where I think I am. I think I one off the Brewers. I don't stack them.
Yeah, so, I mean, for me on him in this spot, it's more of – or Milwaukee in general in this spot, right? It's more of saying, Verlander is going to be chalk, and maybe I use it as a leverage stack. But I still think – I don't know if I 5-man stack them. I think it'd be a 4-man stack or like a 4-4 type of stack. So, all right. I know this game is in Citi Field, and I know the Mets have kind of been cold, but man, Colin Ray just seems like the guy you want to take bats against. And like the pricing's down outside of Alonso and Lindor. Like, dude, give me the Mets today.
Yeah, that's how I feel. It's like your team's been in a funk, and then you get to see Homer Bailey. For those of you that have been in the DFS for like years and years and years, like Homer Bailey Day was a great day, mostly. And so I feel like Colin Ray Day should be a good one here for the Mets, Stevie. And I'm not sure how much ownership the Mets are going to get either, which has me very intrigued for this slate because there are some spots that I think people will be interested in. And so, you've got Alonso at 5,300. You've got Nemo at 42, Marte at 39, Kana 28, Pham 32, Lindor's 47. Like, you don't really have anyone too far above 5K. McNeil at 3,500 as well, who I actually really like today. I think I think it's a really good spot for the Mets. No catcher above 4K. Like this could be a sneaky 8 to 10 run spot for the Mets, like out of nowhere. I love this spot.
Yeah, again, I do. I'm with you. I love this spot. It's also in the back of my head, Citi Field and a struggling Mets offense. So I also as much as I like this spot overall, I still in my head I want to say, I need to temper the expectations.
Man, just get us some early singles to get you warmed up, and then I think the hits will come.
Yeah, Homer Bailey, man, it made me laugh in my head when you said Homer Bailey. All right, Minnesota at Atlanta, 8.5 total in this game. Braves a 190 favorite. Strider and Gray facing off against each other. Sonny Gray going up against Atlanta. Sonny Gray has been struggling.
Yeah, man,
big time struggling, and did a deep dive on him last start before the Boston game. I don't remember why. It was 5 days ago. But did a deep dive on him. And honestly, just the rotation's down. The strikeouts are down almost 10%. The walk rate is up, which is super concerning. He's really struggled with hard hits all season. So not generating strikeouts and his swinging strike rate being down is super concerning for me for Sonny Gray just in general. And then you put him against an Atlanta team that has all this power. 9,600 might be a fade spot for me on Sonny Gray today.
Yeah, I think it is a fade spot, Stevie. And I hope this isn't the case. Okay, I really hope this isn't the case. But this is almost reminding me of Carlos Carrasco right before he had that big injury and was out. Like it's just Carrasco's numbers were like way off from where he was earlier in the season, and suddenly he was out. And I'm hoping, Stevie, that this isn't one of those spots where an injury is on the way or something. I really hope it, but man, it sure feels like it, like you talked about with everything being not nearly where it was. I said all that to say this isn't the spot for Sonny Gray today. I'm definitely out on him. Begrudgingly too, because when he's on, he's on. Like it's 8 to 10 strikeouts, but he's definitely having some problems.
Indeed. Like just I agree with you. Something's going on. Like something is just not clicking for him right now.
Yeah.
So I think anytime you have a pitcher like this, it's super concerning and tough matchup. Spencer Strider on the other side of this game, Minnesota strikes out a ton. This is a spot he should go out and dominate. I mean, there's no sugarcoating this. He should go out and dominate this game.
Yeah, man, and we're getting the price bump because of it too, Stevie. I mean, this is the highest he's been priced all year. His previous start against Philly was $12K. He's 12.6 today, and to be quite frank with you, and I think everybody will agree, he's worth every bit of this 12.6 today against this Minnesota team. That I mean, we've seen middle to lower level pitchers, Stevie, go out and get 5 or 6 strikeouts against this team pretty much on a daily basis now. This isn't something that's just happened at the beginning of the season. Now we're pretty much on a daily basis. Pitchers are pretty much smoking this team. And so Strider's at home today. Like, man, this is almost a game, Stevie. I might want to just buy some tickets and drive to Atlanta. Like this could be like his performance of the season. This one game, I don't think I'm going to feel comfortable fading Strider today. I'm probably going all in on Spencer Strider, especially on DraftKings. FanDuel maybe not as much, but I'm still going to be well overweight. I think I'm going all in on DK though, Stevie. I think that's the right move. Like this could be 15 strikeouts today. And I'm not saying that that's an exaggeration. Like this could be 15 strikeouts.
Yes. I mean, I don't disagree with you at all. I think this is a spot where we have a really high upside spot, and I mean, you're just kind of hoping he goes out and does his thing. So,
yeah.
Dude, I have no interest in the Minnesota bats outside of maybe a leverage stack, but like Buxton's banged up right now. Minnesota's striking out a ton. No, I'm out.
Yep, no Minnesota bats.
Atlanta bats. I mean, chat was asking if they're going to be sneaky. I don't think there's anything sneaky about Atlanta in this spot.
I don't. And now, Stevie, not only that, all our boys are priced up. Like I can't get Harris at 3,600, 3,800, Ozuna at 2,600, Rosario at 2,800. Like these guys are priced up. Even Orlando Arcia's 4K. Austin Riley's 5,600. Albies is 5,200. Olsen is 6K. Murphy's 4,900. Stevie, how am I going to afford these bats? I'm not going to be able to play all the big bats. And so I think if I'm stacking, especially from a lineup HQ today, I'm just going to have to kind of make some rules to say, give me one of these three. One of Olsen, Acuna, or Riley, something to that effect. And then maybe double back with some of the mid-tier guys like Murphy, Albies, and Harris or Ozuna or something like that. I'm just not going to be able to get all these bats. They're too expensive, but they need to be stacked appropriately because I still think Atlanta scores plenty of runs today.
Yeah, I mean, maybe sneaky outs like because of pricing, how expensive they are with the pitching we want to get today. But yeah, I mean, I love Atlanta in the spot. All right, Detroit at Texas. 9 total in this game. Rangers a 200 favor. We got Matthew Boyd facing off against Andrew Heaney. Any interest here in Matt Boyd?
Not today, Stevie. Not against Texas.
Yeah, he's actually been pitching decent. I think that's a nice term for Matthew Boyd. He's been pitching decent here recently. Tough matchup, man. This is a tough offense. Texas, top 2 team in baseball, top 3 team in baseball against left-handed pitching. Tough matchup here for Matthew Boyd. I'm gonna pass. I think there's a couple other cheap pitchers we can play.
And let me just say this, Stevie. There are spots where I've taken Boyd, like Minnesota, Kansas City, like these past 2 starts. Like these are spots where he's done well. But not today. And I'm sorry I interrupted you, but like no, I'm a Boyd guy when it's the right matchup. It's not the right matchup
though. Heaney against Detroit, 8K here. Price tag is a little tough to swallow, but I can see Heaney going out, getting 5-6 strikeouts, throwing 5 good innings. I think that's close to enough today.
Yeah, at 8K, especially when we need some type of salary relief. Facing Detroit, I don't mind the spot. So Stevie, I think if you said right now, hey, Will, Haney's going to come out, he's going to get 20 fantasy points today, 8K. I think I'd take that on this slate. I think I'd take it, and because I think that would be enough to get you to the finish line. So I'm in on Heaney.
Yeah, I'm in. Just again, I think it's more slate dependent than anything else. I think he's a really interesting pivot play here. Detroit bats. Anything jumping off the page to you here for Detroit?
Not really, nothing crazy. I'm just kind of not a Detroit guy. On a small slate, obviously, I know a stack like this could just wreck you if you have no exposure, but I'm just not afraid of Detroit to come in and beat me on a daily basis. Javi Baez, man, used to be a guy who could target, but even his strikeouts are starting to come back up this season now in the middle of the year. I think I'm going to just pass on Detroit and try to load up on all the big quality bats from other spots.
Yeah, so I will say Andy Albanese. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong. I think he's super interesting today. He's 2,500. You can play him at second base. He's a 324 ISO against left-handed pitching this season. So he's really interesting to me. Torkelson is always interesting. I just don't like playing him on DraftKings because you got to use up your first base spot. So he's more of a guy to get on FanDuel where I can play 2 first basemen if I want to. Texas is another good stack that I like today. Boyd's a guy that gives up bombs. Garcia, Simeon, Heim, Jung, Young, all these guys. Duran against the lefty, always someone I like. Like I think Texas is another team we want to target today.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing is, Texas is expensive as well. Like you talked about it, Heim 4,500, Jung 4,700, Seager 6,200. Marcus Semien, who's been having a really good season this year, 6,100. Like this team is expensive. Adolis Garcia at 5,700. Like if you want to get these bats, you're gonna have to pay for them. I still think it's worth it in this spot against Boyd. They'll play Grossman today, I'm sure, at 2,400. That can get you a little bit of salary relief. Grossman hasn't been incredible. I understand that, but he's still a part of the team. It'll still get you, like I said, a few more dollars for you to try to build some quality lineups. I really like the Texas Rangers today. Sneaky stack, I think, especially if the Braves come in at higher ownership. Texas is going to get real sneaky. As sneaky as you can be on a 6-game.
All right, moving on. This podcast is flying today. We got White Sox and Angels facing off against each other in LA. 8.5 total in this game. Angels a 142 favorite. Dylan Cease going up against Detmers. Cease is 7,700. He's been pitching a lot better. A lot better. And I love the ballpark shift here is solid. And honestly, like the Angels are coming out of Coors after a huge weekend.
Yep.
I think you could get a really good game here from Dylan Cease today. 5-6 innings, 7 to 10 strikeout type of game. The bottom half of this lineup still not the best. I mean, you still have to beat the top half of the lineup, but I think this is a really good spot for season tournaments at his price point.
Stevie, is it okay if I kind of group these two pitchers together today?
Yes.
Great. So here's where I think DraftKings made the mistake. I think they priced both of these too low. I think Cease and Detmers both should have been above 8K today, especially Detmers at 73. Cease under 8K after a couple of really good performances. I know long-term he hasn't been great. I think this is the DraftKings mistake, and I'm hoping that the field doesn't decide that the Cease-Detmers combo is the way to go today, because I do think Cease-Detmers is the way to go if you want to play the Atlanta bats or the Texas bats all the way through. I'm saying a full 5-man stack on DraftKings. That's the only way you're going to be able to do it. I still think Strider has, I know I talked about the strikeouts, I still think Strider has 40-plus fantasy point upside today. I don't want to fade him. I don't want to do that. But if you're trying to play two big offenses, I think Cease Detmers is the combo. Both of these guys should have really good days. I'm saying 20 to 25 fantasy points is well within the cards for both of these pitchers. I think this is a good solid SP1, SP2, SPA1A, SP1B to pile up on offenses today. These guys are mispriced in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think both these pitchers, Detmers, I talked about him in depth last time he pitched against the Dodgers. He is just not the same pitcher that we're used to. He's finally starting to take that next step, and there's plenty of strikeouts in this White Sox lineup. So, I mean, here we go again. I think that Detmers is a guy that for the second straight start, I'm just going to be way overweight on.
Yeah, this I think this is the offensive combo that you want to play the Braves, to play Cincinnati, to play. I mean, I'm starting to salivate here, Stevie, on the fact that if I play these two pitchers, I can full stack Cincinnati, I can full stack the Mets, I can full stack the Braves, I can full stack Texas. This is going to be an awesome day. This is going to be an awesome day.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is a bad day by any means. I think it's a really fun 6-game slate just in general. So
yeah.
Bats. Anything here for the White Sox? I know we both like the pitchers in this game. Yeah. Nothing.
No, I'm not playing the White Sox today.
I think that's where I'm at too. Yeah, I think that's where I'm at too. I don't think I'm playing either one of these teams outside of a hedge stack. And I don't think I make enough lineups to start getting into hedge stacking this heavy on a 6-game slate.
Yeah, me either. I mean, look, if somebody says, hey, I want a one-off Trout or Ohtani, I get it. I understand it. But I think for me today, I'm going to side with Cincinnati. I'm going to side with the Mets. I'm going to side with Atlanta. I'm going to side with Texas. I think the money is better spent on the big stars from those teams, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I just find other places, I think, today. Again, I just think that this is one of those, just maybe I'm playing it as a hedge stack. I'm running 150 teams, Will. If I'm running 150 teams, I'm getting exposure to both of these offenses because I do think both of these pitchers gained some ownership today. So I think that's where I would start getting interest in this game.
Yeah, I get it.
Washington at Seattle is where we finish out. We have no total in this game. Luis Castillo is pitching for Seattle. It sounds like Trevor Williams is going to get the hill for Washington. We'll go off of that assumption. What are your thoughts here on Trevor Williams?
So I don't like Trevor Williams generally, Stevie, as a pitcher or for DFS, not like in real life, but for DFS. But I must say, with this matchup against the Seattle Mariners today, this is the one time I feel like I can get behind some Trevor Williams. And here's why. So I did take Bradish today for what it's worth in terms of some strikeout props, Stevie. And obviously he was able to clear that. He got 6. My point is, even though they do have J.P. Crawford now back at the top of this lineup with a 16% K rate, and on the season, Julio now It's down to 23%. You still got 31 for Teoscar. You still got 34 for Coletti, 27 for Eugenio Suarez, 25 for Cal Raleigh, 35% for Mike Ford. And those are all clumped together. And so, when, if a pitcher is able to get in a rhythm, Stevie, like the strikeouts could just kind of come in bunches just between these 5 guys. I don't like Trevor Williams. This team has a 25% K rate overall. And the past 30 days, it's been worse. I think I'm going to play some Trevor Williams today, especially in my Strider lineups. That's where I am with Trevor Williams.
All right. Didn't see that one coming.
It's Seattle more than Trevor Williams for what it's worth. You get what I'm saying. Oh,
I hear you. Oh, Trevor Williams. Oh, man.
I don't like it, but Seattle, man, gosh.
Just not good. I mean, I hear you, and I hear what you're saying. I think I like the Seattle bats more than I like Trevor Williams. But I hear you, Will. I hear you, and I respect you. I get the strikeouts. He's just not a strikeout pitcher. I mean, there's strikeouts in this lineup. Yes, he can get 6 strikeouts. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I hear you. I'll say that. I think Seattle's the stack that I want to play in this game. But hey, I'm going to talk you on the Seattle bats. Don't you worry. Castillo.
Listen, he's 5,800. You get what I'm saying. Listen, I've seen Seattle just get murdered by bad pitching all year.
I will say this, right? I'll say I would rather play seasoned Detmers instead of Strider and Williams.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that. But I think I'm going to have to get some Williams in my Strider lineups because I just can't in good conscience not play Strider today against Minnesota. And that, you know what I mean? Like that's where I am. So that's why I said I'll have to get some.
No, I hear you. I hear you. All right. Luis Castillo, 11K. Going up against Washington, we know they are one of the worst power teams in baseball against right-handed pitching this season. They have the second fewest home runs in baseball. They have the second lowest ISO in baseball they're tied now for the lowest ISO in baseball. They just don't strike out. Castillo, I think Luis Castillo goes out and he throws a really quality game. I just don't know if it's enough ceiling for 11K.
Yeah, I'm not playing Castillo today. I'd spend all the way up to Strider, or I'd go down to Detmers and Cease. Like that's the move. I think. Like I don't think it's worth it to play Castillo. We've seen Washington go out and score no runs, and the pitcher has 3 or 4 strikeouts, and they just really curb the upside. So I'm out on Castillo today, and I'm sure now that I said that he's going to mush me and pick up 8 Ks today and go 8 innings, and I get it, but I don't think that's the move. I think the fade is appropriate.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd fade him just because I could see like Strider just not like Strider having a big game or Strider struggling a little bit. I think Castillo's in such a good like floor spot that you could play him. I just don't know if he has the ceiling as like Strider, or the ceiling is like a Detmers price per dollar kind of.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Yep, that's mainly what I'm saying.
All right, bats in this game, Washington bats. No. I got nothing, man. No power in this lineup. I like Seattle stack. Again, Trevor Williams, 17% Ks on the season, 340 WOBA, 44% hard hits. Got to be able to miss bats against this team. He has an 8% swinging strike rate on the season. If you're not missing bats, there's too much power in this lineup. Kelenic, Teoscar, Julio, Mike Ford as like a cheap like piece of a stack here instead of going Ty France. You can get Mike Ford at 2,100. Mike Ford is a big power guy that strikes out like 35% of the time. He reminds me so much of like a Joey Gallo type player profile. What are your thoughts here on the Seattle bats?
Yeah, I'm not going to stack Seattle today. I think if I do, it'll be one-off hunting. Like I don't mind one-offs against Trevor Williams, and so I hope people did not misinterpret what I was talking about with Trevor in terms of why I would play him. Like he will get some strikeouts today. He will also probably give up some runs, and so we just have to hope that the strikeouts or the runs don't outweigh what he's able to get accomplished on the mound today. So I would be in on some Seattle one-offs. I'm not stacking them
though. That's it, man. We're through the 6 games. Let's play the morning grind game and then we'll get out of here. We are on Grinders Live later. If you want to hear our final thoughts on the slate, come hang out with us on Grinders Live. Will under 8K to get 6 or more strikeouts? Who do you got today?
This might be the easiest one of the year, I think, for both of us, because you take one, I take one. I'm going to roll with Dylan Cease at 7,700.
And I got to get my boy Detmers over 8K to score under 15. There's 5 options. Who are you taking?
I think I'm going to go with the obvious option. I'm going to be a homer today. Give me Sonny Gray at 9,600.
I'm going to go Justin Verlander.
Yeah.
Over 4K to hit a home run. Who's going yard today?
We've got so many options today, Stevie. I'm going to go to Texas. Give me Adolis Garcia at 5,700.
Oh, you took my home run. I
really?
love it.
I can't believe it.
It very, very rarely happens in the morning grind game that a home run gets taken, but I love that call. I'm going to go with the hot bat of Matt McLean for a home run today.
Ooh, I like it.
Under 4K to get 2 hits. Who's a cheap bat that you like today?
I think we should have known this was coming. I mentioned this guy several times when we talked about this game. Give me Nick Senzel at 3,900.
Like it. I'm going to go to the Baltimore side and say Austin Hayes facing
Love
the lefty
that.
here.
Love that. I would have taken Mountcastle today for a bonus home run had he been playing, but he's still in rehab. Man.
All right, stack to score 6 or more. Who do you got?
So many today, Stevie. I think I'm going to go off the beaten path. I think this team is on the outside looking in big time. Give me the New York Mets against Colin Ray as long as the weather comes together.
All right. I'm going to go Seattle against your boy. And it's not even I had it written down pre-show. I'm not just messing with Will.
And I went off the obvious ones. Like everybody knows I'm going to play Cincinnati and Atlanta and Texas. Right? I think the Mets have a really good shot to pile up some runs today.
Fun show. Always fun. Listen, me and Will have been working together, and he's one of my favorite people in the industry, and it's always a fun time to do these shows. We will be on Grinders Live. He will be taking your pick'em at 10:30 Eastern tomorrow on the YouTube page of RotoGrinders and on Grinders Live page as well. We'll have crunch time after Grinders Live. Kevin Roth is going to be important today, so we'll definitely be hanging out with Kevin Roth and seeing his thoughts. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a really fun 6-game slate. Good little Monday slate to get us going. Always appreciate everyone hanging out. Thanks for hanging out in the YouTube chat. If you haven't already, subscribe to the RotoGrinders Morning Grind YouTube page. Turn on the notifications so you can come hang out with us live. Again, was very optimistic about it, or I was very hesitant about doing live shows, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. That's going to wrap it up here for Monday slate. We'll be back tomorrow talking baseball. Hopefully you have a fantastic Monday. We'll see you again tomorrow.